My name is Edith Saucedo, and I am a project coordinator at Walt Disney Imagineering. We are at Disneyland in Fantasy Faire, and this is a little town that we wanted to look as if it was part of the castle. Sleeping Beauty's castle is now has a town, and it's called Fantasy Faire. And we have a Royal Theater where we will be telling the stories of Rapunzel in Tangled and Belle in Beauty and the Beast. Our theming was hoping that when people walked in, especially people who've never been to the park before, will look at this little area and imagine that it was built when the castle was built. So there's a movement with Fantasyland more than any other area. We have tried to create an area where little boys and girls and their families can come and meet the princesses, and they'll meet more than one at a time now as they're walking through the Fantasy Faire area. It'll be a more close-knit, I think, encounter with the princesses than when they used to walk throughout the park. My favorite part right now is the Royal Theater. I really like the storytelling that's going on in there with the Shakespearean kind of feel with the way the stories of Rapunzel and Belle are being told. That is my favorite area.
I started on this project in 2010 and went all the way through it to completion. Well, I looked at the original 1983 Fantasyland, and if you look at that area, it's really a potpourri of different movies. In the original Fantasyland, there's a lot of attractions, but all the architecture is sort of neutral. You know, Toad Hall is an exact copy from the movie, but the Peter Pan building is really a mishmash of European, almost Bavarian architecture. So I thought with Fantasy Faire to take the same approach. Our two attractions our princess, a princess breeding attraction in our theater, but I thought it would be neat to have the buildings neutral and then have little hints of other movies in it as well. So we have our Tangled Tower, inspired by the movie Tangled, the Lopez music box from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I really like that movie, so I kind of pushed that in. And Figure of the Cat. Well, I always say, and I mentioned before, I really love the Hunchback of Notre Dame, so I feel really glad and excited that we have Lopez music box in this area. I think it will be a really charming addition to Fantasy Faire. I like the overall look. I really love the shots you can have when you come out of the circular pass-through and you see the castle and Fantasy Faire in one shot. So I'm really glad how it turned out.
Yes, my name is Christopher Utley, and I'm the show director here at the Disneyland Resort. The process of developing these shows was amazing. It was awesome. The first thing we did was to go to the source material. We looked at the films of Beauty and the Beast and Tangled, reviewed them over and over again, and we distilled them down to essentially 5 acts. We took a very Shakespearean approach, and we took the action of the films and those stories and identified 5 acts for each. Then we gathered together a group of designers, musicians, actors, writers, a very eclectic group of people, and we had a large brainstorming session where we looked at these synopses and discussed different ways to represent elements of the story. Following that, the writer, Jason Milligan, and I wrote a first draft script. And then we came back and we brought in some improvisational actors, took that script, put it on its feet, but then let them play with it. So we had kind of a skeleton, and maybe found some additional comedy and humor and heart and adventure and all that stuff by putting it on its feet. Then we rewrote the script, brought in a smaller group of actors, and actually staged this new draft. And that version we took up to our executives in Glendale, presented that to them for their feedback, got their feedback, incorporated that, rewrote the script again, and then we had a great opportunity to work with our partners at Walt Disney Theatricals, and we visited with them and talked about their technique, and they helped us. They looked at the script as well and had some ideas. So then we did another rewrite. But as you can see, what we've done all along is brought in this great group of professionals and theater people. We've rewritten the script, we've gone back to the films, and really come up with a really tight, fine-tuned piece of theater. And that's probably it. If there's anything, well, there are a lot of things rewarding about this, but one of the most rewarding is that it's truly a piece of theater, and which so far is appealing to young guests, teenagers, college-age guests, as well as parents, adults. You know, we're hoping that it's very smartly written and appealing to all those age groups, and that they'll want to come back and see it multiple times. We chose these two stories for a couple of reasons. We wanted to use one of our very traditional fairy tales and also one of our more contemporary stories. So we took Beauty and the Beast, obviously a great story, a well-written, a well-crafted film, and just a great story. And then Rapunzel, on the contemporary side, again, a great story. And if you watch that film, it has so much humor and comedy, but it's got so much heart as well. So, one representing our traditional and our contemporary. But at the same time, both of those characters, Belle and Rapunzel, they both tell stories of having a dream, following their heart, wanting to see what's out there. And they both have strong personalities, which I really liked. I think it's a great example for having a dream, taking some risks. There's a lot in my life that I can relate to their stories where you know there's something out there that you want, but it's scary, and you have to take a risk. And then once you get there, so many more opportunities open up. And for me, that's what these two stories do. Rapunzel, she wants to see the floating lanterns, but along the way, she has adventure, she falls in love, she discovers who she really is, and the rewards are so greater than the original objective. And that's really why I love these two stories, is because they tell all of us, they tell all of our guests, us, follow your heart. And I know we say that a lot at Disney, but I believe it, and I support that notion. We've all got a dream and a purpose, and these are great stories to help us, maybe to motivate us to follow those dreams.